It is Friday morning and it is cold as fuck outside. And I only know that because we had no food at the house. So I went on an epic journey. Picture Frodo, but like probably shorter and hairier. Just trekking through the snow and ice filled streets of Nashua to go to Shaw's and pick up shit for like sandwiches and garlic bread and tacos and stuff, because that's all I fucking eat. While I was out there, I was listening to some good fucking music, some new music, and I have a lot of great things to say about new releases, so I'm fucking excited for that. But I'm home now, I can barely feel my hands, but that's okay. I ain't typing a fucking thing. I'm talking about the topic today, and that is just unpopular opinions and bad takes across music and movies and whatever else. I don't know if I put any like regulations or topics, but I digress. I found out through, well, I guess I kind of knew already, but the proof was evident when Facebook and Instagram was like, hey, remember this thing you said 6 years ago? Remember the thing you said 11 years ago? And then I just look at these and I go, man, I'm fucking opinionated. And it made me look through these and look at the comments and I'm like, this is an unpopular opinion. Let's just make a fucking show about them. So here we are. I put it out on Facebook, I put it out on Instagram, I put it out on Threads, and I was like, give me some of your unpopular opinions. And I got a good handful, enough to do a fucking episode about it. So we ballin'. We're gonna dive into it. Of course, we got some music, recommendations, and reviews, and I got so many shows to fucking plug. So before I hit like the 5-minute mark or some bullshit, let's just kick it off. So grab a drink, grab a smoke, grab some food, coffee, whatever, comfy ass chair, get in your PJs, sit back in your car. I don't give a shit. We're gonna kill some time. Let's go.
What you doing, son?
Nothing. Just chilling. Killing.
True.
My name is Danny. I'm 35 years old. I live outside of Milwaukee. And on September 24th, 2012, I saw the Shrek in these woods. The Shrek is real. After a fight with
We
my
all got
grandmother-
opinions. You know? Maybe you don't get these one or two bands that everyone so much loves and respects and reveres. Maybe you think this movie kind of overrated, kind of boring. It's poop from a butt. Maybe you got some opinions you think are wild, but in the grand scheme of things, not so much. Or maybe you got an opinion that could start a fight. I think we're going to run the gamut with this. I think we got a little bit of fucking everything on this list. And if they don't say it, I probably will. I have a list. We gonna go down that list. Just like usual, if I agree with you or I have something to say that your response triggers, I'm just gonna fucking say it, because if I try to wait until the end, I will not remember and it will just be me reading things and giving no insight. And at the very end, I will give you all the ones that I had prepared. I know I asked for music and movies and entertainment and stuff. I also have a handful of food and all these other things as well. Because those are ones that I found on the internet. Those are the ones that spawned this episode. So, of course, I'm going to honor those takes, no matter how shitty and unpopular they are. Kicking things off, my boy Larry got a couple opinions of his own. He says, I don't know how popular these are or unpopular these are, but alright. I don't think I get Sleep Token. The whole package just confuses me. That's very understandable, dude. Very understandable. The way I look at it is, it's not for me, but I view it as a stepping stone to other harsher music. Me being a metal and hardcore fan, I've been in that shit for decades now. But there's so many people who are just fans of like hard rock, and this appeals more to them. The fact that Sleep Token adds elements of metalcore and stuff like that into their stuff means people who like that and get exposed to that can go on and listen to things like Knocked Loose, or Body Snatcher, or Signs of the Swarm, and then from there really find intricate, like, deep cut bands like Backbiter or Bolt Cutter and shit like that. So I don't get it myself either, but I appreciate the band for what it is, because they're very popular and they are turning more people on to heavier music just by sprinkling a little bit of that into their music. Larry also goes on to say that he does not think there's been a good Avengers movie since Age of Ultron. I don't know if I agree per se, because the Infinity War and Endgame were both extreme successes. There are a bunch of things I would have done differently, and I think would have made them better movies. But if you're talking about Avengers as in like that whole phase with all the individual members of the Avengers and not just the title of the Avengers, I was a big Ant-Man fan. I loved that movie. And I'm a big fan of everything that they've done so far with the Spider-Man movies. But I can totally see where you're coming from, and Age of Ultron was incredible. So if you're just talking about Avenger movies and not the other side movies, I think I can agree. We also have Christopher Nolan's Batman trilogy could have been better. This is where I disagree. This is an unpopular opinion, because I think, as far as movies go, pacing is the best. Cinematography is the best of all the Batman movies under Christopher Nolan. Only thing I dislike Christopher Nolan for is making the Joker seem like he's a cool fucking thing. So many cringe lords wanted to be the Joker, got Joker tattoos, all this shit, and I find it laughable and cringy as hell. But beside that point, Christopher Nolan's Batman movies are elite, and I put them on a pedestal. That shit was fire. Larry also says that Newt should have died in the Aliens. I'll agree. Fuck them kids. My buddy Suey says that he thinks Goodfellas is just an okay movie. Well, for me personally, I don't have anything else to really compare that movie to. Like, I've seen Goodfellas back in the day. I remember a good chunk of it, but I don't really watch those kinds of movies, so I can't say if it's good in comparison to like Godfather or any of those other kind of things. So I'm gonna have to disagree. I think it's pretty good, but I don't know in the grand scheme of things. I feel like if you just told people that when people asked for your opinion, the grand scheme of everything, they probably would disagree with you. I would say this is an unpopular opinion overall, but for me, being unversed in that shit, I don't know. I don't really have an opinion. It is a good movie, but I don't know if it could have been better. I don't know what the ceiling is for mob movies like that. My boy Tony, aka Onions, says that he thinks the Rob Zombie Halloween movies are better than the originals. I will say the first one where they're showing Michael Myers as a kid and he beats that fucking kid in the woods to death with the branches and shit, and he wears the paper plate mask. I will say that is an incredible movie, but overall, I don't agree. I think that is an unpopular opinion, but that first Rob Zombie one where he initially made his debut into the Halloween franchise, that was incredible. But everything else, John Carpenter has that shit on lock. Damien says that the Dune movies are boring as hell. I can see that. It's essentially SpongeBob and Patrick just doing silly walks so they don't piss off the Alaskan bullworm. And then there's fucking like space weed. I'm not compelled by it. But you know, I will give it its props. If there was no Dune, there probably would be no Phantasm, and I cannot live in a world with no Phantasm. So as boring as it is, I appreciate its influence. And I also really like the band Shai Hulud, which I don't think would happen without Dune. But fuck the Dune movies. And Honky Kong on Instagram says, Kill Bill isn't that good of a movie. The main character annoys him, and he keeps rooting for people to kill her. Well, I have never seen Kill Bill. I know that's fucking egregious to say as a quote-unquote movie fan, but I've never seen it. But I want to jokingly call you a misogynist, but I know you ain't. Yeah, I would say saying Kill Bill is not that good is a unpopular opinion. People love that. Both culturally influential and little like action movie marks. They fucking love that shit. So I haven't seen it, but I can tell you're wrong in the eyes of most people. Boy, oh boy, I'm ready to make some fucking enemies. I got movie and music opinions as well, but I also have other things. Just as I said before, things that inspire me to make this episode. And I feel like if people actually listen, the 5 people that listen to this podcast are going to message me and go, bro, what the fuck? Starting off hot, I think the first Slipknot album, the self-titled album, is the best Slipknot album. But, Lost and Found by Mudvayne is better than anything that Slipknot has put out. Come for me. I dare you. Okay, we're gonna start off hot. I hope you are ready. Because I think Slipknot's self-titled, the first Slipknot album, is the best thing that band has put out. But Lost and Found by Mudvayne is better than anything put out by Slipknot. That's gonna start some fights. I'll give 2 food-related ones since they're fresh on my mind. I think Mountain Dew is the absolute worst soda across the board. And I think crinkle cut fries are garbage tier potatoes. The only good Mountain Dew is Baja Blast, and that's only good when you get it from Taco Bell and from the fountain. Also, crinkle cut fries are just ass. The best preparation of fries is real crispy seasoned fries. That shit is like heaven. I think Kelly Bundy was a better choice than Topanga Lawrence in the 90s. Another one being, if your favorite bands in 2026 are still Breaking Benjamin, 3 Days Grace, Skillet, Shinedown, any of that kind of stuff, grow up. I know that you peaked in your musical instruments playing like SmackDown versus Raw in like 2005, and then you're just like, I'm good. I will never seek out new music ever again. Y'all need to quit that shit. Stop it. And to end this segment, we're gonna give 2 wrestling opinions. Both might get me in hot water. I know definitely one will, but you know, such is life. In the 90s, as far as wrestling goes, in my opinion, it was never Undertaker or Stone Cold, even though I love Stone Cold, or The Rock, because Rock, in my opinion, peaked in like 2000, 2001. It was Bill Goldberg. And I will defend that. But ever since Bill Goldberg went to WWF for WWE, then it became hot garbage. So I will never defend WWE's version, but I will defend WCW's version. That was the MVP of the fucking 90s in my book. And in wrestling, the only titles that you need are your main brand's championship and your tag team championships. That is it. If you're gonna break down into other things, I would say do weight classes, because at least that gives people of same weight classes something to fight for. But we don't need hardcore. We don't need like a scramble champion. We don't need X Division. We don't even need women's championships. If you're in a company, you're striving to be the best. You should fight to be the best. So either the best single star, where you represent the brand, or the best tag team star, in which you're fighting with a partner to prove that you guys are the best. There should be no gender separation. There should be no weight class separation unless you have them for your titles. And in that case, stick to that shit. Because how are you going to look at me dead in the eye and say Rey Mysterio was the best heavyweight champion of the time? He should have just been WWE champion. Shake my fucking head.
Man, let me just get a bacon, egg, and cheese with the hash brown on it.
Yeah, that's fine. We're all out of poop.
What?
Poop. I can't do no poop on a sandwich. We're all out.
Yeah, that's...
Oh, whoa, what do you mean you're out of poop? I need my smear today or I'm gonna relapse.
They're gonna come for me. The 5 people who listen and anybody who else they tell, they're gonna break my kneecaps with a bat. But you know what fucking time it is. Instead of breaking things down and pissing people off, I'm gonna intrigue people and build people up. It's time for music reviews. Let's fucking go. The new demo by New York screamo band Forever just dropped. And I gotta say, as far as demos go, this is the perfect representation of the genre a band is. Forever perfectly encapsulates that early 2000s, late 90s screamo post-hardcore vibe, and the raw sound that was achieved through recording strictly in their practice space made this that much better. The shrieking vocals, the guitars, the upbeat drumming, just the emotion pouring through every orifice of this song. Goddamn. It had me hooked from like the first 20 seconds in, and I'm like, oh, this is exactly what I want in this type of music. And then it got better, and then a second song started, and the second song was better than the first. I cannot say enough good things about this 2-song demo, but if this is what a demo sounds like by this band, I'm keeping an eye on them, and I cannot wait for actual production to come their way, because that shit's gonna blow me the fuck away. This sounds like Seisha. This sounds like old Swiss Stallone. This kind of sounds like Detro. So I have to give it at least an A for what it is. Overall, I'd probably give it like a B, but to establish this sound, this emotion, and just be this good for a demo, you gotta have an A. Houston, Texas hardcore band Ancient Ones just dropped their new EP titled Houston's Straight Edge, and this was aggressive as fuck. This was literally the audio version of when you see a cartoon get into a fight and they get sucked in out of nowhere, beating the shit out of a giant cloud of smoke, and then they get spit out and wondering what the fuck just happened. That was this. Because you're sitting there wondering, what am I in store for? And then it sucks you in with a really, really hard intro. And then it's just 3 consecutive songs of fast-paced ass-beatery before it spits you out and just delivers the 2 most ideal hardcore punk songs you have heard in quite some time. Where you just sit there and you go, how the fuck did they do this? I had no idea this band existed. Had no idea they existed, never heard them, never saw any of this stuff. I didn't even know who they were because they were on Bandcamp when I found them, and I was just looking for new music. And I am forever grateful to whoever uploaded this, because y'all made my fucking day. This was such a great EP, and I gotta give this one an A+. I don't usually talk about songs this popular because if I play clips, I'll probably get a copyright strike, and that's no bueno. But Knocked Loose featuring Denzel Curry was fucking phenomenal. And as if anybody had any doubts. You watched Denzel doing his Rage Against the Machine cover, you had the energy, he had the gravitas, the rasp in his voice, the aggression. He had it, he knows what the fuck to do. And Knocked Loose is so good at their craft. They have their sound, but they can mesh it to accommodate fucking anybody. Like, you could have Knocked Loose featuring Conway Twitty, and they would make it a banger. The sound was great, the mixing was great. Both sides of this, both the metal and the rap, were incredibly well done. My only grievance is instrumentally, it was a little too chaotic and mathy at times for my liking. So I was like, is this the riff? What's the measures and shit? What the fuck? They switched it again? No, please stop. No. But like, listening to this, I was hyped the whole way through. Stankface on full display. I loved this. Other combos I think would be fucking cool would be like Whitechapel and 3-6 Mafia. Just like bridging the gap and just embracing Tennessee. Or like, it makes absolutely no sense, but I'd love to see Peeling Flesh with That Mexican OT. Just rolling the letters and that southern flair with just slam behind it. I feel like that would just be a match made in heaven. Though geographically, fan-wise, and everything else would make no fucking sense at all. Just because it confused me a little instrumentally, I have to give this an A-, but it's definitely up in the upper echelon of the A's because it was just so heavy and so cool. But to flip all of this upside down and, do what I normally do, and that's end with a downer, I gotta give that shit to the new King 810. Those dudes are Melvins.
She got a good boy.
I thought,
with
surely,
a good job.
this must be some
Kissing
hard-hitting
the ass
shit.
of the man,
Hopefully,
and I got a
it'll
short
reprise the
fuse,
role in the
and
days
oh
of old when they would
God,
just
I
release
know
ass
I'm
beater after
mine.
ass beater. The days of fat around the heart. The days of Alpha and Omega. No, they continue the pattern of releasing shit time and time again. They haven't released something good in like 10 years. And this, I don't know what this is. This is David Gunn trying his best to be Amigo the Devil. And it's not him. It's not good. And I am honestly kind of mad that I listened to it. I'm a big fan of this kind of music, but not as hokey and try-hard as this sounded. Everything I hoped it would be, it's none of that. Everything I didn't want it to be, it was almost that to a T. King 810 just continues the pattern of just letting me down. And I'm sure the moment they decide to kick it back into gear and release some heavy shit, I'm just no longer gonna care, because it's like The Boy Who Cried Wolf. Except in this thing, it's a good song. I give this a strong D. Well, that about wraps it up for today's episode. Next week is February 20th. That means we are going to the Bungalow for Kill Murray Presents the Rap and Metal Showcase. I will not be doing a podcast episode that day, but if you check out my social media at KillMurray603, I will be posting videos throughout the entire night so you can at least see some of what goes down at the Bungalow for that show. I will also be announcing another rap and metal showcase. Date will be announced at the show. Date will be posted on social media after the fact. But I have a lot of shows to plug right now. Not all of them are available right now, but I will run down the list so you know where to find me next. And I'm booked out for quite some time. We got February 20th next week at the Bungalow Bar and Grill in Manchester, New Hampshire. We got March 13th in North Andover, Massachusetts at Walt's Pub. March 17th in Worcester, Mass. I will be performing a ladies and LGBT showcase at Fembar in Worcester, Mass. March 21st, a benefit for Vinny Tesoro at Panucci's in Concord, New Hampshire. April 3rd, I'm having the Kill Murray headline show at Nashua, New Hampshire at The Spot. April 7th, I'm coming to Midway Cafe in Boston, Massachusetts. I have a show I cannot announce coming up next, so I will leave that one blank. June 17th in Boston, Massachusetts is the postponed date from back in January. We're coming back with Infamous A, with Chemic, with Melissa Rashad, with Chrissy Casares. It's going to be a pop, hip-hop, and rock showcase. It's going to be fucking awesome. And July 17th in Effingham, New Hampshire, I will be a part of the pre-show for the Run Amok Metal Fest. And I am so fucking excited. So if you are free any of those days, or you become free any of those days, come on out, drop some money, and support your boy. There will be more to promote soon, more details, more things that I can talk about soon, flyers soon. All that shit will be found on all my social media. I am Kill Murray 603 on all socials. So thank you for listening, and have a great night.